Yeah, sometimes we're our own worst enemy. And again, it goes back. I know, at least for me, ladies, I'm not sure where it's at for you, but I know for me, um, it's because like I'm almost there. I can feel it, but I would benefit from taking the break. I would benefit from resetting. And sometimes I can't see that. So if you can understand when I can't see that, that would be so helpful.
Ever feel like you're in a constant competition between your career and your husband's patience? Your kids think you work too hard, but hey, you're doing it all for them, right? The struggle is real, and I've been there too. Moments of feeling like a crappy mom and wife because once again, your kids had breakfast on their way to school, and you've got more important things on your plate than cooking and cleaning. Hey there, working moms who are juggling a million things and still wondering if you're doing it right. I'm Veronica Cisneros, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, a mama of 3, and married for 24 years. Welcome to the Empowered and Unapologetic podcast, where we dive deep into the messy, chaotic, and sometimes hilarious world of mastering motherhood, marriage, and business. I get it. Balancing it all was never the goal, but here we are, trying anyway. I'm here to share my journey and guide you through yours. No more apologies for being driven, and definitely no compromises on your dreams. Together, we'll navigate the challenges of being a powerhouse in both business and family life. Join me as we tackle the uncomfortable conversations from being the breadwinner to changing the rules of what a marriage looks like. Let's figure out how to parent in a working parent household without the constant arguments or guilt. I'm Veronica Cisneros, and this is Empowered and Unapologetic, where we embrace the chaos, challenge the norms, and strive to live life on our own terms. Get ready for some real talk, actionable tips, and a few laughs along the way.
So I literally just wrapped up a 2-part 4-hour couple session. And to say it was intense would be a complete understatement. There was a lot of arguing. There was a lot of defensiveness. There was a lot of criticism. There was a lot of emotions. They couldn't see past their own pain, and they were struggling. And both of them were communicating the same thing and wanting the same thing, wanting respect, wanting understanding, wanting to feel supported. And I'm turning back because I'm literally looking at like all of the things they wanted. They wanted to be appreciated. And the way they were going about it was unhealthy. I'm not even going to say it was wrong. It was literally unhealthy. And that 1 hour bled into my next meeting, and it was not a session. It was a meeting that I was able to cancel. But so it went from 1 hour to the other hour, and it was so intense that the people in my office heard the argument because the yelling was next level extreme. Well, because of how intense this session was, we had scheduled a follow-up for the same day. And so that was only supposed to be 1 hour, but that 1 hour ended up also being 2 hours. So this is why I call it a 2-part 4-hour session. I absolutely love my couples. I love my couples. And we were on the right track. And I knew exactly what needed to be done, what was required for this couple to leave here together and to at least help them with developing an understanding as to what each one was responsible for and what issues they were bringing into this discussion, and to hold themselves accountable. So it was a great success. It was a great success. the way they were looking at each other. So they literally walked in not wanting to talk to each other. In the waiting room, they were sitting on separate sides. And when they left, they were hugging, flirting, looking at each other. They were able to work through those emotions. And so in today's episode, I'm discussing that, not from the marriage component, but from where I'm at right now. And I have recruited no one else but my husband. Baby, hello. I asked you to jump on last minute.
That's all right.
I am so thankful that you are on here. It's been a long day. It's holy shit, baby. It's 6:14. I've been here since 8. I've been working. No, I've been working since 7. I've been working since 7. So this is gonna be a 12-hour day for me. And baby, do not ask me if I've had anything to eat.
Have you had anything to eat? I know the answer to that question.
So
No?
I actually had a yeah.
At least you got something.
I actually had overnight oats. I just had that at 4:30. My first meal. So in today's podcast, we are talking about the balancing act. We are talking about juggling marriage, motherhood, and our career. This episode is going to dive into the common challenges faced by high-achieving women, balancing 3 major areas, 3 very, very important areas. And I bring up my personal story because I'm currently in it right now. Like, it's happening. It's 6:15 and the clock is ticking, and I'm about to hit 12 hours soon. After this podcast, it will be 12 hours. I want you guys to know that you're not alone. And I want you guys to have like just real deal, holy feels what this is like. And right now, what I'm experiencing is a great amount of guilt. A great amount of guilt. When I called Willie and I told him, hey, I need to record this podcast episode, I can hear the girls in the background laughing. Aubrey's boyfriend's over, and, you know, they're all, I don't want to miss any of that. I don't want to miss laughter. I don't want to miss laughter. I don't want to miss time with them. I'm having major freaking FOMO, because I know all of this is happening and I'm here at my office. And with that, you know, I was going to record the episode with you 20 minutes ago. And I was called in another area. I'm also a clinical supervisor, and we're dealing with a really sensitive case. And I was helping my clinician draw out an email, and I was helping her. She's new to our team, and so for right now, I'm focusing on guiding her and training her. And so that took up a good 20 minutes, probably 30 minutes, and with Willie kind of just waiting for me to say, "Okay, I'm ready. Jump on." But this balancing act, God, I wish I can say I'm doing it 1,000% well. And there are days where I feel like nailed it, totally got it. What else do you got? And there are other days where I'm like, no, for real, don't give me anything else. Please, like, this is too much. This is way too much. Millie and I had a conversation about some of this last night and this morning. And one thing right now, my company is going through a transition. It is a very, very, very positive transition. However, I mentioned to Willie that there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of thought wrapped into it, and there's a lot of fear also. And one thing that I had said was, you know, I wrote it actually as a sticky note. It's right here. If it's still keeping you up at night, you haven't learned the lesson. And what I'm referring to is the lesson God wants to teach me. And although I might not agree with every single lesson God wants to teach me or his timing, I'm not going to go into his timing because his timing is not the desired timing. But like, holy moly, I'm learning like what is the lesson? With all of that being said, I've asked my husband to jump on here because I thought it was really important for you guys to get a husband's perspective. In addition to that, for you guys to call your husband for him to listen to this episode. So let's start by defining the challenges your wife may be facing in balancing these three major areas of life. High achieving women often experience immense pressure to excel in their current careers while fulfilling responsibilities as mother, a partner. The expectations placed on them, both internally and externally, can create a delicate, I'm going to laugh at the word delicate, balancing act that requires understanding and support. And so, with me having said that, babe, like, how would you define it?
Um,
Like, with regards to like this challenge of me balancing motherhood, because you see it, you see it firsthand.
well, it's been a role reversal. I seen it when I was you and you were me.
Yeah,
And I would come home and I was working. I'd go to work, it's dark. I'd come home, it's dark.
yeah,
And whether it was you going to school or you working a job, being mom, being dad, doing all those things, like I I can totally empathize with you. All the moments like you're missing a couple hours or a couple minutes. I miss 7 months at a time
yeah,
and all those things. So like do I have regret? I have tons of regret because I've missed a lot of key moments that you were there for that I'm jealous that you got to see many first events take place.
yeah,
And so understanding what that's like I definitely know what that's like and but I think that not a lot of people in their marriages have that and have ever shared that where it's been that role reversal so they have a bit of compassion and understanding with one another. And I think that's part of the key is having that that sense of patience um, and understanding, seeing that there's like the purpose of what's going on,
yeah,
the working to achieve something for your family, like that. What's the big picture? Is it
yeah,
is it being done for the betterment of the family, or is it selfish? I don't know, achievements that are
yeah,
wanting to be pursued. And I think a lot of people believe that it's the latter of the two, that it's all for themselves.
yeah,
And I think that like the struggles that you're going through right now, I asked you yesterday, have you prayed about those things? And I know that right now you're going through a transition, but I think it's also important that spiritually, that you are right, that you're centered.
yeah,
And you said that timing, his timing, I think it's your timing too.
yeah. No, 1,000.
That's part of the plan is your timing being in line with the timing that he has for you. And it's like when we used to go to church, one of the things that Pastor Greg Gloria of Harvest used to always say was sometimes God says slow, which means that you need to slow down. Sometimes he says no, which means that the timing is not right, you have more to learn.
Yeah,
And sometimes he says go, when it means that it's time and you're ready to move on. You've learned that lesson. You're ready to move past the challenges that I put ahead of you.
yeah,
So I think right
definitely.
now that's like where
So,
you're at.
one thing that I appreciate about what you just shared is you are utilizing what you've experienced from your past and
Mhm.
your deployments, your trainings. You're using that to understand what I'm currently going through, and that I greatly appreciate it because understanding the pressures are so important. And so I want to ask the husbands who are listening, I want you to think about what are some of the pressures your wife might be facing right now. And I'm going to give you some tips. I'm going to give you some help. It could be the pressure to perform exceptionally well at work, the guilt of not spending enough time with the family, or the constant juggle of multiple roles and responsibilities, which all of these pressures can lead to stress, burnout, feeling inadequate, easily frustrated, easily triggered, and maybe, although she's physically there, you can see that mentally she's maybe not checked out, but it might feel like she's checked out. Baby, can you go ahead and speak to some of those times?
Yeah, I definitely know that like there's, and I think that's just part of being in tune with one another, like understanding where each other is at, what normalcy looks like, and
Well, before you
recognizing.
yeah, before you go into solving it, what would you say, like with me, what would you say are like what do you understand about the pressures that I'm currently experiencing? Like
I
what
know
is
that it's
your understanding?
overwhelming for you. I know that you want to go. I know that you just want to run away.
How yeah, there are
Um,
times I'm
I
like,
know that you want to just, if you can, yell at the top of your lungs. I know you could cry your heart out right now. Uh, you, you know, it's not even normal for you to have a drink, but you would have a drink right now, because you'd be like, you're just like almost at your wits' end, and um, that just the pressure
yeah.
is mounting, and I could see it wearing on you. I could see it wearing
How do
on
you
your
see it?
heart. I see it just in your physical stature, the way you carry yourself, your emotions, how it's emotionally draining on you. I could hear it in your voice. Um, Sometimes I could hear it in your short sightedness, your lack of patience with things that would seem like very, very minor, but you'll make a minor thing into something major.
Yeah.
Being very short. And at those times, I recognize that I think what you do need is space. You need space and time. And I don't think that it needs to be met with like fire being met with fire, because all that's going to do is make matters worse. I think it's just trying to listen to the things that aren't said, not so much the things that are said, because a lot of it is just you reacting off of emotion.
I know looking for the right therapist can be challenging. However, feeling overwhelmed and disconnected is even harder. Life is filled with several twists and turns, some more severe than others. We do our best to handle them as they come and find ourselves at a loss, not knowing what to do or who to turn to. The clinicians here at Outside the Norm Counseling are here to help. We are here to assist you through this time of need. Together, we will identify your strengths and goals and teach you healthy coping skills. Together, we will develop a plan to help you live the life you want to live. Our team is compassionate, genuine, and we take a great deal of pride in providing an empathetic, non-judgmental approach to all of our clients. It's time! You've waited long enough. Wither 88. We're looking forward to meeting you and being a part of your journey.
So with that, what really helps you pull back and not personalize maybe how I am? Because that's where I see like as a marriage therapist, that's where I see a lot of, couples that's where like they miss it.
Yeah,
This is nothing personal. Like I
yeah,
don't want to come home and start a fight. I don't want to come home and not talk. Like that's the last thing I want to do. The best part of my day, I know that the best part of my day is about to begin once I go home.
yeah,
However, one thing that I've noticed is when I am, overwhelmed, when there's so much uncertainty, when there's so many things going on, I do find myself short fused. I mean, hell, the kids have even
mhm,
mentioned, hey mom, how are you doing? Like they see that as well. And my kids have
yeah.
also said, hey, you are short tempered. And it's like, I am. That's not my
They've recognized it in both of us.
right. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And so I guess for you, um, what would you say is really, really helpful? If you had to say like one thing, what is one thing that's really helpful that maybe I'm not even saying to you, I'm not even doing, but it's just like you're kind of like where you're able to reset and go, wait a minute, she's not purpose. This isn't a personal attack. She like what is something you have to either say to yourself, or what is something you do, or what is something you think about to help you understand these pressures and not personalize them.
There's a couple things. One is something that you've taught me. What do I know to be true?
Mm.
Is my wife deliberately doing this? Is she like this? Or are there other things that maybe I'm not considering? I
Yeah,
don't know what her day was like. I can't, I can only anticipate and know, but what do I know to be true? Is she on my side? Is she my best friend?
yeah,
Does she love me? Like maybe reminding yourselves of those things. If you know that already, then you don't have to consider that. The other thing I would say is that's helpful for us is, or for me, I would say, is the constant communication. Even though I like when you come home or when I'm off work, I want to unplug and I don't want to talk about work anymore because I've just dealt with it for the last however many hours. Same thing with you. I know you've dealt with it for so many hours, but I know that there's times for you, and you've told me this from the beginning when you first started doing what you're doing in your career, that you sometimes need me to be able to process because you're hearing things that are unspeakable at times,
yeah,
and you just need to be able to go through that. And I understand that, but there are times that I think in those conversations and you just sharing those things with me, it provides me with insight as to how your day is going, so that it's not met with me feeling like, oh, she purposely doesn't want to hang out with me. She doesn't want to be with me right now.
that's helpful.
Um, because that's helpful to me because it keeps me from responding in that way.
Gotcha.
Whereas if I think there's some couples, especially I would say men too, or even high achieving women, that like you don't understand where I'm coming from. You don't understand the pressures that I'm under. Um, you're right. I don't understand the pressures because I don't know the pressures that you're under. And I think that when you keep that out of the conversation, now it's just a guessing game. And now you're just trying, without the other person knowing, it's, I think it's playing games in a way.
It
And
goes
I
back
think that
and
it'd be
forth.
better.
It goes
Yeah, it does.
it goes back and forth because the last thing we want to do is we don't want to add more fuel, right? We don't want to add more fuel to the flame. And what I mean by that is there's already a lot going on. There's already a whole hell of a lot going on our end, um making decisions, working with our employees, um, battling uncertainty, battling imposter syndrome, right? Wanting to make sure that we build company culture, wanting to make sure that we're also performing at the level of
Hmm.
expectation that we expect from our team. We expect 50,000 more, higher level of expectation on ourselves. So there's all of these things that are coming up for us, and so when we come home, the last thing we want to do is get into an argument. But then we also don't want to, there are times when I see a lot of women not wanting to disclose, not wanting to share what's gone on for their day, and then there's that little bit of expectation that their partner's just gonna read their mind, and know that it's been a rough day. And this
Hmm.
is where I think, you and I, it's kind of like I know I've sent you a text or you've told me it's been a hard one, and
Hmm.
that alone has been,
Before I come home, that was helpful for you.
yeah,
Well, that was helpful for me when I was you, when I was in your position that you're
yeah.
in now. And so I would have to tell you so
Baby,
I
you
didn't
gotta turn
snap
up
at
your
you.
light. Yeah, I can't see you. Sorry. I'm like
You
totally
wanna see me?
darker and darker.
You
There
wanna
you
see?
go. Yes, I want to see you. I can't see you. I'm like,
Okay.
you're like slowly fading away.
It's getting darker and darker and
Well,
darker. That's
do
all.
your screeny thingy too, where you can do the lighting.
I don't know how to do that.
Baby, there's like this sun that's
I don't
right
know
there.
the sun and the moon.
There's the sun, and then you could adjust your lighting right there, the brightness. We interrupt this session to adjust my husband's screen.
There we
There
go.
we go. And then there was light. And then there was light. Sorry, this entire time
Uh,
I'm like, I think I'm making eye contact with you.
yeah.
Um,
All right. That's right. Yeah.
there we go. So yeah, being able to go ahead and have those discussions, having, just a kind of like a quick indicator, hey, it's been a rough one. Um, Moving on with expectations and struggles. Many high achieving women strive for perfection in all areas of their lives, often setting unrealistic. I hate saying this. But this is totally true. Often setting unrealistic expectations for themselves. This can lead to feelings of overwhelm and the fear of falling short in one or more areas. It's essential to recognize and validate these struggles, understanding that they are not a sign of weakness, but a natural response to complex challenges. So I want to sit on this one for a minute because there are times where I am in it and I am pushing myself to the next level. And that has been met with, babe, take it down. Like, you're doing too much. That right there is so hard to hear because in that moment, what I'm really needing from you, what your wife is really, I know we're talking to husbands right now, what your wife is really needing from you is, we just want you to believe in us. I mean, we're not ready to admit that a lot of the expectations we place on ourselves are not humanly possible. I don't want to admit that. And is there something unhealthy about that? Sure. And still, I'm not ready to say that. I'm not ready to admit that. And I don't want you to stop me from doing what I'm doing. I don't want you to discourage me because I'm already freaking out as it is. And so the minute you say, babe, you're doing too much, you might as well tell me that you don't believe in me. And I know that's not at all what you're saying, but in that moment, that's exactly what it feels like. It feels like you don't believe that I am capable of doing something that's not even humanly possible. Like, have we met? Because I can definitely do it. And yeah, we might be batshit crazy. That might be 1,000% true. However, in those moments where we are struggling to meet these very, very high expectations, one thing that I can say to men and
who sets those expectations?
me, 1,000% me. I'm not saying I'm sane. I ain't saying that. I'm aware I'm not sane.
But you're setting that stuff up for yourself.
Yes.
It's a choice.
1,000%.
You're making an active choice.
Active.
To put that.
Why are you using my clinical words?
Hey, to apply that pressure on yourself. I believe in you. I know that you can do this shit that you're doing. 100%. I don't doubt you. But I also recognize when there's no gas in the tank left and when you need a break.
Yeah. I guess
it's not saying that you're defeated. It's recognizing that you need a break. You need a reset and come back to that better version of you that's going to be able to kick ass the next day or hours from then.
I guess it's kind of like, I mean, I don't know why I'm relating it to a pitcher and baseball, but that's all that I got. And I don't know much about baseball, but I'm going to just bear with me. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like when a pitcher is like throwing a bunch of fouls. Is that right? Fouls?
No, you're on the wrong sport. Here, I'll give you a better analogy.
No. Let me finish.
You know, like those runners that are on a marathon.
Hold on. No.
As they run by, they get to the water station. I'm the water station guy. Because I recognize that you look crazy and delusional, and you have no strength left. And I'm like, you can still do it, but you still need a little bit of you need a reset right now.
All right,
you need some water.
Hold on, I get your points, but
you're on a marathon. You're running a marathon.
Okay, so I get your points. I get your points, but that's not a reflection of where I'm going. So what I mean by this is
throwing fouls. What
the hell are they? You know when they throw it and it's the
throwing balls, pitches to the catcher.
Yes, and they're
pitching to the catcher.
Yes, and they throw balls, right? And you have so many balls, and then the person runs, right?
Walks. No, the person walks, yeah.
Yeah, so they're not throwing strikes, they're throwing balls. I didn't freaking know. Okay, whatever. I told you in the beginning, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Anyway,
never paid attention to our kids at all.
Anyway, right? So you have this pitcher, and they're throwing a bunch of balls. So the first person they had up, they threw a bunch of balls, and they walked. Second person they pitched to, they threw a bunch of balls, right? And then the coach starts walking towards the pitching mound,
Mm-hmm.
and he's about to have a conversation with the baseball player, and he's about to take him out of the game. Don't take me out of the game. Don't
I'm not.
don't
This
come
is
on.
one of those.
Hold on.
This is one of those visits. This is one of those visits, though.
I need you to finish.
These are one of those visits where you tell me, "I got this," and I say, "I know you got this." So you're gonna continue in the game,
Yes.
or are you done?
No, I'm not. Why the hell are you
Okay.
even here? Why are we having this conversation? Can you please go back to
Because right now
the
you
thing?
need to reset because of the shit that's on the bases right now that you did. That's
I
all
am
you.
ready. I'm not. So this is what we
Okay.
need you to understand. This
So
is
I'm just like, go get them.
so this part right here is what we need you to understand. Don't take us out of the game. Don't take it. We're on to something. And although it looks like the next person we're going to throw balls to and then they're going to end up on base, we just need you to believe in us that we are capable of getting this mofo out and striking every single person out after that. We recognize that, yeah, we're maybe not performing the way we want to, but we're on to something. And I'm not saying that all the time leave your wife alone because yeah, homegirl might be going without eating, without peeing, without whatever. And so yeah, there's a point where yeah, you might need to intervene because we can be
That's what I'm talking about.
we can be
You take it as I'm telling you that you need to quit
yes,
and you need to give up and that you're
yes,
defeated and you've lost.
yes.
No, that is none of that.
So this is where
What did you just say right now? Your words, not mine. Intervene.
so in that process of intervening, recognizing that you attempting to take us out of the game is going to be met with some level of resistance, not personalizing this, but really understanding what it means to us. Like, I'm
Who
almost
not personalizing? Us not personalizing it or
you
you
got
not
well,
personalizing it?
well you
I
guys
think it's both.
it is
It is
so
because we recognize that you're down, but you're not out.
okay, well said. God dang it, well said. I've been teaching you too many skills and tools. I need to pull back because you're
This
starting.
is also years of leadership too.
I need to stop pulling back on all my therapeutic magic.
You don't do any of that stuff anymore on me.
No, I
Or at
don't
least
do
I
it on
don't
you.
think so.
I'm teaching way too much because you're being a really good teacher. But yeah, I, I guess ultimately what I'm referring to is just recognizing like the expectation and struggles is extremely hard and there is resistance. And sometimes what is it like? What is the word? Like sometimes we're a threat to ourselves, sometimes we're an enemy to ourselves, sometimes we're our own.
Own worst enemy?
Yeah, sometimes we're our own worst enemy. And again, it goes back. I know at least for me, ladies, I'm not sure where it's at for you, but I know for me, um, it's because like I'm almost there. I can feel it, but I would benefit from taking the break. I would benefit from resetting. And sometimes I can't see that. So if you can understand when I can't see that, that would be so helpful. The next place I would like to go is addressing common questions. What are some common questions husbands may have about this issue? And so I want you guys to think about this because we are talking to the men. I want you to think about like what are common questions you have. We've talked about the balancing act, right? We've talked about understanding the pressures. We've talked about expectations and struggles. I want you to think about what are the common questions you guys have, you know, maybe if you have them for me as an expert, or maybe you have them for your wife. And I want you to take some time right now to write those questions down. You guys might be wondering how you can help without adding more pressure. You guys might be wondering how to support your wife's career goals, while maintaining a strong family bond. You guys even might be asking yourselves, how do I navigate conflict that might arise from the balancing act? Baby, if you had to pick one of those questions, and I'll repeat them, if you had to pick one of those questions, what is one question for you? I mean, obviously, you and I have, we go deep into conversation, but what is
Yeah.
one question you find that you might have had being in this situation before? So I'll repeat them. You might wonder how you can help without adding more pressure. You might be wondering how you can support your wife's career goals while maintaining a strong family bond. You might also ask how to navigate conflicts that arise from this balancing act. If you had to pick one of those three, which ones would you pick?
Not that last one, the second to last one.
So the second to last one is um, how a husband might be able to help without adding more pressure. And so I'm going to give the answer, and I'm going to give you, and I want you to give the answer too. So how can
No, it wasn't that one, but go ahead.
Oh, okay, so not that one, not that one, not that one. What, so you might, what are some common questions? Um, I feel like what are some uncommon questions husbands? They might wonder how they can help without adding more pressure, how to support their wives' career
How to
goals.
support their wives'
Okay,
career goals
sorry. Okay.
while maintaining a
Um,
strong family bond.
yes.
Yeah.
So
So
right.
that to me would be the one that I would say is and was the hardest
Why?
one. Well, I think in the beginning, and you had mentioned it too, like that, and I had never thought about it and gave it much perspective into why why that might be. And I think it's just because it's been so foreign to guys, to men for a really long time. Like men have always been the achievers, the breadwinners in a household, and having a wife that sometimes may be outdoing you and being the one where they're the breadwinner, they're the successor in the home, they're the person who is achieving everything and has all this. Not only that, financially, but also is just has all this added pressure with work and owning or operating a business, and is in this important role and has all these different pressures. So aside from on on the on the on the home front, there's added pressure to perform and be the other half. And I think that for some, that's like a hit on. For men, that like that's a gut punch to their pride. Like, you're like, damn, I'm supposed to be the one taking care of you, not you of me. At least that's the way it kind of felt when you started to do your thing. Because for many years, I was the one taking care of. I mean, I still do take care of a family,
Yeah.
but when I started to see that you started to go on this path and achieving this success, that there may be the potential for you to kind of run free. And I'm back here holding on to your coattails, going along for the ride. And we had gone to some business seminars and watching, and I just watched other men watch their spouse on the stage speaking to thousands of people and being the cheerleader for them. And I don't have a problem doing that, but I wonder if, like, how is that for them, being in, waiting in the winds, and are they okay with it? How do they
Bingo.
manage that?
Bingo.
And so that's part of it is, how are they able to do those things,
So you bring,
when for so long they felt like they had to be the one on the stage
yeah,
and having their wife cheer them on.
that right there, which is not a
Mm-hmm.
cookie cutter answer.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably expecting, okay, so we're going to use I statements and we're going to practice
Yeah.
active listening and we're going to discuss shared responsibilities and encouragement. I'm going to call bullshit. You guys already know I don't do Band-Aids. I'm going to call bullshit. Yes, that's all important. However, but one thing that's way more important, how you can really help us, is being able to identify what insecurities come up for you. What insecurities come up for you when you are attempting to support our career goals and maintaining that strong family bond? What are the insecurities that come up for you? And how are you going to address those insecurities? Because what I find, not only here in session, but even with, even between you and and I've had these insecurities as well when you were pursuing your career and I wasn't, right? When we were stationed in New York, and I had to pause, my schooling. But that right there, if you're able to identify what insecurities come up for you while you're supporting your wife, who is maybe doing some beautiful, crazy, substantial work, and you were able to focus on, okay, these are the insecurities that are coming up for me. Now then follow up with, how am I going to work on these insecurities? How am I going to address them? I'm not going to obviously throw them on her because of the insecurities I have, or criticize her, or maybe try to pull her back. Instead, I can go ahead and point out what these insecurities are, and I can use that as an opportunity to grow and thrive. Right. And whatever emotions come up to follow, I can address that. And I don't have to add that pressure to my wife or blame her that an insecurity was exposed and she needs to help me with it.
Yeah.
And so, in conclusion, supporting your high-achieving wife in the balancing act of marriage, motherhood, and career requires empathy, communication, and collaboration. By understanding her pressures, expectations, and strategies for finding harmony, you can be a valuable source of support and strength in her journey. Baby, thank you so much for being on here. Thank you so much for your support. I'm going to say right now that I'm going to finish this recording, and then the best part of my day is about to begin. And of course, you are a big part of it. Before we wrap up, I want to take a moment to talk about Empower X, a platform dedicated to empowering high-achieving women like your wife. Empower X offers a range of resources, from workshops, a coaching session designed to support women in finding balance, unlocking their potential, and thriving in every aspect of their life. Fellas, we need community, and we need your support in embracing that community. Whether your wife is seeking guidance in her career, strategies for self-care, or tools for strengthening your relationship, your marriage, Empower X is there to provide the support she needs. You guys can visit empowerx.com to learn more and empower your wife to live her best life. Thank you for listening to today's episode. We hope you found these insights helpful in better understanding and supporting your high-achieving wife. Until next time, take care and stay tuned for more episodes on empowering women and their relationships. Bye.
Raise your hand if you are ready to level up your marriage for 2023. Do you find that you're spending your time together with your husband checked out and in front of the TV? I know you're ready for tangible strategies that actually get you results. Reignite the spark in your marriage, have fun, and grow together. Well, I hope you have your hand raised at this minute, because I have something special for you. I'm introducing my brand new 6-question marriage predictor quiz that's gonna give you personalized results to catapult you into the next stage of your marriage journey. That means you'll receive the results to where your marriage can get the best help. If you've got just 1 minute, head to veronicacisneros.org/quiz. Again, that's veronicacisneros.org/quiz, and you could take my brand new quiz, Marriage Predictor. Get your results delivered right to your email address. Again, that's veronicacisneros.org/quiz, veronicacisneros.org/quiz. What's up, ladies? Just want to let you guys know that your ratings and reviews for this podcast are greatly appreciated. If you love this podcast, please go to iTunes right now, write a review, rate the episode, and subscribe. Don't forget to share it with your friends.
Oh, hey, it's Erin.
And I'm Michaela, and we're the hosts of the Two Sober Girls podcast, and we are on a mission to spill the wild truth about sobriety.
Forget the rosé all day cliche. Sobriety is flipping amazing.
Absolutely. It's not just about quitting the drink. It's a gift you give yourself and your loved ones.
So what are you waiting for? Break up with that old toxic relationship with alcohol and let us show you the possibilities.
And here's the thing. Everything your precious heart desires becomes way easier without the influence of alcohol.
We're not just two sober girls, we're also wellness coaches. We're here to show you how to optimize health, lifestyle, and beauty, feel sexy and alive as F.
So stay tuned because we're rolling out new episodes every Monday wherever you get your podcasts, and trust us, they have your name written all over them. We can't wait to share the magic of sobriety and wellness with you. Subscribe to Two Sober Girls podcast today and come follow us on Instagram for behind the scenes action and send us a DM. We can't wait to meet you.